Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you, Mr. Mitchell. Just bear with us a minute.
Right.
Right, we're now live, so I'm going to welcome everybody to this virtual meeting of the Street Trading Subcommittee. Before consideration of today's business, I'll outline the protocols for the meeting. Today's meeting is being live streamed to the public via Microsoft Teams and is also being recorded. When members are speaking, they may choose to use their video. If the live stream fails during the meeting and we can't share the proceedings, the meeting will be adjourned so that access can be restored. If it can't be resolved, the chairman will halt the meeting and the rest of the business will be concluded at a future date. If a member experiences a technical issue, the chairman will adjourn for a short period to try and re-establish their connection. As members are called to speak, the chairman will remind you to switch on your microphone. If you can't be heard, the democratic officer will advise you. The vote will be taken by a show of hands and announced by the democratic services officer. We have public representation at the meeting today and they will be joining the meeting by telephone. So I'll just get the members that are here to introduce themselves. I'll start with Councillor Wills.
Hello, good morning, everybody. My name is Councillor Paul Wills, and I represent the St Cullen Major electoral division on Cornwall Council.
Thank you. Councillor Burt Biscoe.
Good morning. My name is Burt Biscoe. I represent the Boscawen division in Truro.
And Councillor Lennox Boyd.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Councillor Sheila Lennox Boyd from Saltash North. Thank you.
Okay. We've got Councillor Joanna Kenny, the local member, with us today, who is just here to watch the proceedings. The two officers that are present, apart from myself, are Kath Wood-Finden from licensing, Kevin Hill from legal, and there's myself, Angela Saunders. I'm the clerk. So moving on to the agenda, the first item is election of chairman for the meeting. Have I got any nominations, please?
I propose, I can't remember his name. It's gone out of my head.
Councillor Wills.
Well, Paul, sorry, Councillor Wills. I do beg your pardon.
Have we got a seconder?
I'm happy to second.
Thank you. Councillor Wills, are you happy with that as well?
Yes, I'm happy to accept the chairmanship from my fellow councillors.
Great, that's unanimous. So I'll hand over to you for the apologies and declarations of interest.
Thank you, Clerk. Do we have any apologies, please?
We have one apology from Councillor Foote. Councillor Wills yourself has kindly stepped in to cover him today.
Thank you. And declarations of interest in accordance with the agenda, please.
None.
Members.
None, thank you.
Thank you. Bert.
None for me, Chairman.
Thank you. So we'll move on then to the procedure for this meeting. Thank you very much all for joining us. We apologise for the slight delay. I think it must have been a typo on Mr. Mitchell's telephone number, but I'm glad to say that all participants that have asked to speak at this meeting are now present, which is good. I will ask licensing to outline this matter, and then any questions that members may have to licensing they will then put forward. I will then ask the applicant to outline their application, and again members will be able to question the applicant once that has once the applicant has finished. I'll then invite representation from council consultees. In this case, there are none, so we'll go straight on to representation from members of the public, and there are two, from Mr. Mervyn Mitchell and Mr. Mike Patterson. They will outline their objections to the application, and again, members will be able to question the participants on their objections. We will then have a final submission from the applicant, and again members will be able to question the applicant on the final submission, and then finally we will go into what's known as closed session, where you will all be asked to leave the meeting, where we will then take legal advice and we will then come to our conclusion. You'll all be invited back into the meeting, and the decision of the subcommittee will then be given to you all, and what procedure can be followed at the end of that decision. Is everybody happy with that? Angela, you're the clerk. Have I missed anything?
No, that sounds fine.
That's brilliant. So we'll go straight then, and I will ask the licensing officer, in this case, it's Kath Woodfinden, to outline the application for us, please, Kath.
Good morning, everyone. An application has been received from Mr. Andrew Barnett for grant of a street trading consent to help hot food and pastries and drinks from 9 AM until 9 PM, Monday to Sunday, from the 1st of January to the 31st of December at South Bistral Lay-by, Esplanade Road, Newquay. Objections have been received from 2 other persons and a representation from Newquay Town Council. A copy of the application and support is attached at Appendix 1, page 7. For a location map and photograph of Esplanade Road, see Appendix 2, page 23. The applicant has confirmed they are in agreement and will adhere to the additional conditions requested by Newquay Town Council should they be granted a consent. Details of the agreed additional conditions can be found on page 3 of the report pack. The application is being referred to the committee for determination following receipt of 2 objections from 2 other persons, who I believe will speak today. The objections can be found at Appendix 3, page 25, and Appendix 4, page 26. The refusal of a street trading consent on the grounds that there are already enough traders in the street trading from other shops, or that there are other traders selling similar products, is not compatible with the European Union Service Directive and cannot be used as grounds for refusal. Members should consider the following options: approval of the application, deferral of the application, refusal of the application, approval of the application with amendments. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kath. Any questions, please, to our licensing officer? First of all, Councillor Biscoe, any questions to Kath, please?
I just wonder if I could clarify with you, Kath. In the application, it says it describes the location as a lay-by.
Yes.
Is there in the highways layout a marked out lay-by? Is that what we're talking about? It's not clear from the photographs on the map.
The Appendix 2, for your information, I attached I live very close by. There is, on either side of the road, there is a designated lay-by that runs all the way along Esplanade Road on both sides. On the seaward side, there's approximate parking for the lay-by is split for pedestrian access that is clearly marked. And then there are separate bays. There's approximately there, I think I put on there, 8 parking for 88, maybe 86 vehicles of mixed sort of vans or motor vehicles. On the opposite side of the road, there is also similar lay-bys, but that's broken up because there are driveways and that kind of thing.
Okay.
There are clear all the way along Esplanade.
All right, thank you. So I may just clarify once more. Is the application to locate on the seaward side or the land side?
The seaward side.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Lakes-Boyd, do you have any questions to put to Kath, please?
No, thank you. Clarified a lot for me. Thank you.
Thank you, and neither do I. So thank you very much, Kath. That's very kind of you. Thank you. I will now ask the applicant. In this case, it's Mr. Barnett. Mr. Barnett, very good morning to you. Thank you for joining us for this sub-hearing. Good morning, sir. I will now ask you, please, if you would like to give your representation. You are aware that you could be represented and you've chosen not to be. You are representing yourself. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, Mr. Barnett, the floor is yours, sir, and we are all ears.
Sure. No, thank you very much, everybody, for the time today. The application very much, we started at a very small coffee company, tea coffee company, linking to the area. Our application is very much around supporting because people that maybe struggle to access some of the venues along that area. We've got 3 young children, twins as well, so a double buggy is very difficult to navigate down steps or up steps. And we just saw there's a potential there for that lovely space to be used by a wider community. The application, so the company itself, we're very much around environmental causes. So any cups that we would use would be biodegradable and we would want to collect them. So we noted the council's conditions and we would want to collect those cups wherever possible. We also sell coffee in pouches and we donate and have donated to the Final Straw project. and we believe there's a lot of synergy there with that surrounding area and the plastic reduction of single-use plastic. Our background as a company, we've grown up in and around Newquay from the early 80s, and Pentyre, my in-laws lived there, and we spent a lot of time there, and we're certainly not looking at detracting from the area. I know one of the objections mentioned that the license is 9 till 9. The reality of hot drinks, I think, would be probably more finishing in the mid-afternoon. But we're very much enhancing the local area and parking in different areas along that road. The main reason we started our business was we see the change that Newquay's going through. Historically, I've worked in one of the agencies as a street pastor for 3 years as a team leader and saw the alcohol misuse within the town. And we're very passionate about seeing this new generation of visitors and tourists coming through now. And we just believe that there's a gap there, considering North Fistral has multiple outlets, where South Fistral going out towards Pentyre Head has relatively few in comparison. So we're looking at, and again, supporting local bakeries. So we wouldn't be producing any sort of cake or, those sort of products ourselves, but we'd be looking to use local suppliers within that Newquay area, again, to really add value to their businesses as well. And that's really us in a nutshell, and what we're looking at achieving. That the van we pictured was a long wheelbase vehicle. We're looking at something a bit smaller, something that's probably pale in colour to match, and probably a lot of other vans and vehicles along the strip there, where people park, and that's really what our offering is, as well as the sort of hot chocolates for children and things like that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Barnett. Thank you. Any questions, please, to the applicant, starting with Councillor Biscoe, please. Bert.
Chairman, thank you so much. Mr. Barnett, thank you very much for coming today. I'm interested to know, I think what you're saying is that what you're trying to do is to create a facility that would encourage use of the green area between the road and the beach. Is that your intention?
Certainly. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I said, we've lived in the area a very long time. And
yeah.
Going down to South Fistral to go to access that beach, let alone if I've got my children and wife with me, at the bottom to get a takeaway drink at the beach, especially in the times of pandemic, is a bottleneck. You've got the Wave project down there, which I'm part of that as well. You've got the RNLI sometimes there. You've got, and then you've got this queue, and people are queuing up the steps or down the steps or along the little alleyway towards the Wave project.
Yeah.
So it's very much, hopefully, just distributing people in different places, so they could potentially come to us from the beach, or yes, they could sit on that green space, and there's plenty of benches there as well. So.
All right, and then the second point I wanted to make is or ask you about is regarding your attitude towards any damage, littering, minor erosion to the green area immediately adjacent to the paper. Do you think there's a risk of that from your business?
Personally, I know in some of the objections there's been mention of people parking overnight, and that's again personal, to individual traders. We wouldn't be looking at doing that. I think we'd be probably quite nomadic along that lay-by, just by nature of different spaces becoming available. So I would be more than happy to provide the bins, because I would like to collect our biodegradable cups so I can treat them so they get biodegraded properly. So that, again, there's some synergy there for us. We would want to collect that. But I wouldn't, in the spirit of the agreement, is really, I think that if you're a trader there, you turn up at the time, you get the space that's available, that's clear of access points, and that's safe to trade from. So I don't see that being an issue personally.
All right, thank you. I think that's fine. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Biscoe. Councillor Lennox-Boyd, any questions for the applicant, please?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Good morning, Mr. Barnett.
Hiya.
Is there any other street trader? I see something mentioned about the Pink Flamingo. Are there other traders in that area along that road?
I mean, when I've only been aware of one other person that's been there. Not 12 months a year, but maybe Cass would know more about that. I've only ever seen one other person.
So
Okay.
there is somebody that trades from that area.
Yeah, I think it's just I believe an ice cream. It's ice cream. It's not hot drinks, from what I can see.
Okay. And is there any sort of other sort of suppliers down on the beach? I know that that's a really difficult area to get down. I have gone there quite often.
Yeah, the cafe is actually for sale at the moment at the bottom of the beach, or up for to change hands. So whether that would change into a different, I wouldn't know. But there's one place that's at the bottom, and then you've got a couple of hotels at the top. One of them is saying that it's not really open to non-residents apart from the pool. So I'm not sure whether what in the current climate, whether that's a viable option to buy a hot drink.
So
I believe the cafe's shut at the bottom.
At the south
at the
side
minute.
of it, with the ability actually on the beach. That's lovely. Thank you, Mr. Barnett.
Thank you, Kath. I think you did have your hand up, but it went back down again. Kath, did you wish to come in?
I was just clarifying that there is one street trader there, which is an ice cream van, which has been trading this, going into next year will be its 4th year of trading. She has a consent to trade from the 1st of April to the 31st of October. Although in our policy, it does state that the other traders, on the grounds that there's already in the street, it's not compatible with the EU Service Directive and can't be used as a ground for refusal. I was just to clarify that, but the trader there does have a consent.
Thank you. And thank you. And Kevin Hill is our legal representative. Kevin, you had your hand up as well. Did you wish to come in on a point there?
Just for clarity, Chair, if I could, to Mr. Barnett, you are offering or proposing those 3 conditions at the bottom of page 3, are you not?
Sorry, is this the Newquay Town Council conditions of 2 metres from the access and the litter bins and overnight parking?
Yes, indeed. Just for clarity, you are proposing those, aren't you?
No, I completely agree. Yeah. No, like I said, part of it for me was that bottleneck at the bottom of the steps. We would never want to create a bottleneck somewhere else. So I'm happy with those points, certainly.
Thank you, Chair.
No, you're very welcome, Kevin. You preempted the question that I was going to ask, but that's absolutely fine. No, that's absolutely fine. I'd much rather the questions come from you than from me, because I have it here on my screen in front of me, which was the conditions that Newquay Town Council have asked for the committee to consider. And as we heard there, Mr. Barnett is quite happy for them to consider. Is there anything else you wish to add at this stage, Mr. Barnett?
No, not at all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. We'll move on then. Normally at this point we would have representation from Cornwall Council consultees, but there has been no representation from Highways, etc., or any offices of Cornwall Council on this matter. So we will now go to the members of the public who have raised objections, and we'll start with Mr. Mervyn Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell, the floor is yours, sir.
Right, I'm a local resident, and I am concerned that in the application it mentions music specifically, and also other products. Could we have a bit more detail on that? And is music permitted by? Because I don't.
That's not my application.
Sorry?
Sorry, Mr. Barnett, I will come to you in a minute.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. Please, we mustn't interrupt when anyone's speaking.
Sorry.
Let Mr. Mitchell continue. And I can tell you that our licensing officer has indicated she wishes to answer the questions that Mr. Mitchell is asking. But Mr. Mitchell, please do continue.
Right. The other point I think Mr. Barnett has covered by saying he's not going to work in the dark. but it did concern me that the safety of the people coming is something that needs doing. If he's going to work in the dark and his license says he can, then what form of lighting is he providing for safety of the public? And he's selling clothing is mentioned. Is that permitted? And if it is, how does he control the hygiene in a small van? Because it sounds very iffy to me. And also, just to make sure that he understands that putting things on the green for his business is contrary to the regulations covering village greens, and therefore it is specifically excluded from putting anything else, including, if you're really specific, bins and flags. Although the previous occupant, who has still got her license, I understand, she did this and managed it very well by not damaging the green. How is he going to manage that? There is a problem that obviously Mr. Barnett should understand, that the Pink Flamingo was running very successfully in the position that he's got marked on his map. How is that going to be dealt with? If they roll up before he gets there, is he going to go somewhere else or what? And the solar panels, what happens if it's cloudy, because they don't work very well? And is he having a backup in the form of either batteries or a generator? I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Kath, you wish to come in on?
Yeah, I think Mr. Mitchell has got the two applications mixed up. This applicant, I don't know if Mr. Barnett wants to answer his own the questions there, but there's no mention of music in this application. I don't believe the applicant wishes to play any music, and there is no selling of clothing. Highways, I believe, are happy providing that there is spacing of 2 vehicles between each trader.
Okay, Mr. Barnett, did you wish to answer the concerns that have been raised there by Mr. Mitchell?
Certainly. So I don't know how to put my hand up on the phone.
That's okay. We'll come to you. Don't worry. I'll make sure you have a chance to.
Yeah, no, thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Yeah, for your comments on that. The issue around the dark trading in the dark, like I said, we just wouldn't be trading in the dark. People aren't interested in buying coffee at night time as much. So like I said, we certainly would look to probably never go outside of the trading hours, whether there's events such as Wave Warriors on a Monday. Again, if my children are in there, I might well do some sort of decaffeinated coffee, but it would be finishing way before dark. So we wouldn't be looking at trading at night time or subsequent lighting. So we wouldn't look at that. Regarding the point around music, as Kath said, my application's never stated music in there, and we're not looking to vary that. Clothing as well, I don't believe I've mentioned clothing on there. Regarding...
You do in your emails.
Sorry?
Sorry. It's mentioned on the van, I think, but go on.
Oh, right, okay. So on the green, sorry, the van was actually just as an example. So on the application, it's just, we don't own that van. That is just an example of a van. So yeah, on the green, the bins we would keep off. We wouldn't be putting anything on the green to stand on there, or flags or anything like that would be stood on the green. Regarding the trading space, my understanding with the conditions from the council would be that we can trade within the lay-by as long as we are not within 2 meters of those access points. So I'd imagine we'd soon be able to be somewhere different to the ice cream van if they're going to be there in 2021.
Okay, thank you. Questions, Councillor Biscoe, do you have any questions, please, for Mr. Mitchell?
No, Chairman, I think that Mr. Mitchell has set out his case very well. I think that the points that have been clarified by the officer and the applicant satisfy my concerns about his objection. I'd be interested to know whether the answers that he's had to his questions actually affect his judgment, having heard them.
Okay. Councillor Lennox Boyd, any questions for Mr. Mitchell, please?
Yes, when it says about parking into the lay-by, is that like used as a passing point? Because I know it's very narrow when travelling down that road. I don't know if you could update me.
The previous, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Reverend
yes,
Mitchell.
Mr. Mitchell. Yes,
Right.
Mr. Mitchell.
Sorry, my dog was barking at the same time.
No problem.
No.
There's been no problem with parking anywhere along there for a trading van, because cars can park all the way along, apart from where there's a new crossing point. And apart from, of course, the double yellow lines, which obviously is not allowed to trade from there anyway.
No.
Whether it's viable or not to trade anywhere else is another question. That's for him to decide.
It doesn't.
It's a commercial decision.
You know, seeing you live locally, does it cause any problem there with cars coming up and down?
No, the existing vans traded successfully the whole year and the whole summer. Sorry, and the only problem you get is social spacing, where you have to go part way along the grass and block the road a bit, but for pedestrians, but not for the road itself. Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Thank you.
Okay, we have no more questions from Mr. Mitchell. I'm now going to ask Mr. Mike Patterson to make his representation, please. Mr. Patterson, the floor is yours.
Yes, good morning. I'm a resident here on Esplanade Road and have been for more than 10 years. I've got 6 points, some of which I've already addressed in my written submission. Esplanade Road is already too congested and there's insufficient space at present for cars belonging to residents and houses and in apartments, guests in the 2 large hotels, guests in rental apartments and coaches and service vehicles and many beach users. Second point, the presence of the already licensed street trader Pink Flamingo has a negative impact on the use of pavements, and there has been consequent damage to Esplanade Green. Third point, the owner of the Pink Flamingo already reserves a parking space unethically, and arguably there is something by way of a sharp practice regarding the law. In this, I think this has already been addressed by the applicant that he wouldn't do that. Fourth point, how could this fit in with other takeaway services? For example, I know this point has already been raised about the sea spray perhaps being under sale. I'm not sure about that, but there is the Surfside Hotel here on Esplanade Road and the 2 large hotels, all of which do offer a takeaway service, and the Pink Flamingo does offer a coffee and hot chocolate service as well, and has been doing so throughout the summer months when it was licensed to do so. Fifth point, there are other takeaway services, so there is already sufficient commercial competition to counter any claims that EU law, monopoly claims, business opportunity issues and so on are not being addressed. Sixth point, additional rubbish inevitably would be generated. People take away their cups, etc., and will not bring them back to the source where they purchased these drinks from, etc. So that hasn't been addressed, I don't think, fully. And perhaps if the applicants were registered with the council to take their own rubbish, and it would be commercial rubbish and have to pay for that somehow, perhaps that might deal with that issue. So those are my points.
Thank you very much, Mr. Patterson. Any questions to Mr. Patterson, starting with Councillor Biscoe, please?
Mr. Patterson, could I just ask you whether the 86 parking spaces, which presumably in busy times are usually occupied, whether it's them that have an effect on the congestion as a result of all the traffic you've mentioned, or why it would be specifically the case that two people using a person using a parking space to trade from would actually cause congestion on the road that it wouldn't already be caused because of the parking spaces. And the second point is you mentioned that the green is registered as a village green, and I thought it's mentioned somewhere. Is that actually the case, that it is registered as a village green, or is it just regarded as such by people in Newquay?
Right. The first point is that having two further vehicles, or any further vehicles, which are more or less going to be parked there for the duration of the day, does contribute to the amount of congestion which is already here and which is an issue. So that's, I think, completely undesirable, and it's very difficult with coaches which do reverse backwards and forwards. The second point about the village green, it is registered as a village green, and Mr. Mitchell can provide the full detailed analysis of this. And there are laws which govern its use.
Yeah, I understand.
I think Mr. Mitchell's referred to those.
All right. Okay. I must say, Chairman, that it does strike me that for future reference, that where you've got a designation like that, which is clearly material to the application we're looking at, it would be helpful if that was included in the background information to the application. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Lennox-Boyd, any questions, please, for Mr. Patterson?
No, thank you, Mr. Patterson. You've really answered the thing that I was expecting regarding the congestion, because I know it's a very narrow road. I have to sort of go and south and from there, and seeing that the problems that are created, and also really the congestion with coaches. Are there numerous coaches up and down there? Because of course the hotels would create that issue.
Yes, there are. Both hotels have coaches which are regularly there. Sometimes there are as many as 3 or 4 at the Thistral Beach Hotel, the far end, and because of that they do reverse up the road. The same happens with the Esplanade Hotel. Very often these are elderly folk in the coaches, and the coaches have to stop outside on the road. So there is often a great deal of congestion. Add to that the service vehicles coming backwards and forwards, and it is extremely difficult. Sometimes one has to go down the side road and then have to wait anyway. It's very difficult.
Yeah. That was the old bay. I'm thinking of the one at the end. There was the bay, and is it virtually like a dead end?
Yes, it is. It is from Pentire Crescent all the way along to the end, that one. But also the other hotel, which is right there on the corner of Esplanade Road and Pentire Crescent.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lennox-Boyd. Now, Mr. Barnett, is there any of the points that were raised by Mr. Patterson that you wish to answer?
Yeah, no, thank you for the points raised. I mean, there's a point around the takeaway side. I think we've talked about that already. That again, I think it is limited. You know, certainly access, certainly during these times, to some of those hotels are restricted. Regarding the coaches and that sort of safety element, that has been a concern ever since. For many years. The proposed parking wouldn't hinder any sort of, you'd never 3-point turn a coach along that road because of the cars either side. So I don't see we're adding to that issue when there's already a designated lay-by. And again, Village Green and that side of that, I had a little look to see if I could see it registered. My understanding is that the law and around the Commons Act is very much around on the green, and we aren't talking about being on the. My application is not to pitch up on that green, but to the side of it. I just wanted to clarify that we wouldn't be on it, encroaching or enclosing or disturbing it as per the law.
Can I say something further to those statements?
Yes, by all means, Mr. Patterson, if you wish to come back, please do.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, what happens with the current street trade of Pink Flamingo, where it is, it's sort of at the end of the parking bays. And as Mr. Mitchell has said, it doesn't seem to create or generate too much of an issue or a problem. But what does happen is that there is a congregation of people there, obviously, because of the business. And the people stand on the field area, which is the new pathway system there. And then people walk round onto the green because they can't get past. Now, other street traders, one street trader creates enough problem and there is damage to the surface of the green. It's visible. And more street traders would just create and generate more problems and more congestions.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Thank you. We've heard now from both Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Patterson, and I will ask now, please, for the applicant to give a final summing up. If you would finally sum up for us, Mr. Barnett, please.
Sure. Like I said, very happy to be here today to represent myself. Happy with the Newquay Town Council conditions, and again, thank you to Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Patterson for their comments as well. And like I said, we do believe Newquay's a growing, vibrant place that is attracting a very different mix of people now from years before, and we want to be a part of that journey. We believe that having a high-end coffee company would add to the wider town and the benefits. Something I would like to add, and I'm sorry, Mr. Mitchell, I didn't address it, around the solar panels and that side, I didn't actually clarify. I just want to be clear, we wouldn't be looking at any form of generator. What we'd be looking at is leisure batteries that are being topped up ideally by a solar panel if we go down that route, but we're looking at a minimal, nothing with noise attributed to our trading if it was ever proposed and agreed. But that's it from me, really.
Thank you. Councillors, do any of you wish to come back, Councillor Biscoe or Councillor Lennox Boyd, on any clarification on the final summing up from the applicant? Councillor Biscoe?
No, thank you, Chairman.
Councillor Lennox Boyd?
No, I'm fine, thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. I have no further questions, so the committee will now retire and obtain legal advice, and we will reach our decision. So, Angela, it's over to you now to ensure that everyone that's no longer entitled to be in the meeting leave the meeting so we can make our decision. I believe that's how it works.
I need a mover and a seconder and a vote.
Oh, yeah, I'm quite happy to.
Chairman.
Thank you, and seconded by myself. In favour, everyone in favour, Councillor Lennox Boyd, myself, Councillor Biscoe.
All in favour.
Okay.
Lovely.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'm in favour, yes.
The resolved that in accordance with the Local Government Act 1972, as amended, the press and public be excluded from the meeting during consideration of the following items of business on the grounds that they would be likely to involve the disclosure of exempt information of the following description, namely information relating to any individual, information in respect of which a claim to legal professional privilege could be maintained in legal proceedings, and that the proceedings apart from the resolution shall remain confidential. So, Chairman, we now need to ask the applicant and other persons and the licensing officer to leave, as well as the local member.
Thank you. If you would all leave the meeting, and we will summon you all back once we have reached a decision for you to hear what that decision is. And it will show clearly on our screens once you've left the meeting. You need to exit now and leave, please. That is apart from Mr. Hill, Angela, Councillor Biscoe, Councillor Lennox Boyd, and myself. Councillor Lennox Boyd, we can only see the top of your head, but lovely picture of that moo behind you.
Sorry,
You look
Sir.
like you've got horns
Yeah.
sticking out the top of your head, Sheila.
Chairman, we're now live again.
Right, okay, thank you. Welcome back, everybody. I would like to propose, or get Angela to read the proposal for us to go back into live session. If you could read that for me, please, Angela.
Oh, Chairman, there's nothing to read out. It's just to we just need a mover and a seconder and a vote to readmit the public to the meeting.
Okay, well, I propose then that we readmit the public and the press into the meeting. Councillor Lennox Boyd, I think, is happy to second.
I'm happy to second.
All in favour, myself, Councillor Lennox Boyd. Councillor Biscoe, you in favour of that?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Thank you. Then that's carried unanimously. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I will hand over to our legal officer now, Mr. Kevin Hill, to read out the decision of the committee, and we will vote on that decision once Mr. Hill has read it out. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Your proposed condition is to grant the application for a street trading consent on the South Fistral lay-by, but subject to all the proposed conditions and to the following conditions imposed by yourselves. That is to abide by any legislation guidance in place concerning the current pandemic when the licence takes effect, and two, that there be no generators in connection with the vehicle.
So that's all the conditions that were agreed that have been stipulated by Newquay Town Council, and a condition that the trader abide by all guidelines that are issued in relation to the current pandemic, should those conditions still be in place once he starts trading, and under no circumstances will there be any use of any generator. That's the proposal I so propose, and again I look for a seconder, please.
Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Biscoe. All in favour, we'll do it by raising our hands this time. I think it's the way we should be doing it. So I'm just about to click on my hand raised.
Yeah, I can see Councillor Biscoe and Councillor Wills. Councillor Lennox Boyd, are you in agreement with that? Yeah, that's unanimous.
Lovely. We can lower our hands again now. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending this meeting. I do understand that Mr. Mitchell, Mr. Patterson, you will be staying with us for the second hearing. Mr. Barnett, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for your time, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye. Now, do we want to get the next applicant up? We'll hang on till you let us know we're ready, Angela.
Yeah, Kath, I can try this other method of trying to get him in if you like.
I was just calling him. I was just calling
okay.
him. 2 seconds. Just calling in, Angela.
Angela, quick question for you.
Yes.
This is a continuation, so we don't have to re-elect a chairman again. Do we just carry straight on?
No, we just carry on.
That's great. Thank you.
Chairman, it's Angela from Democratic Services. The
Yes, Angela.
local member has raised an issue about the live stream, but I don't understand what she means. Councillor Kenny, what do you mean?
Yes, I'm looking at. I was going to try and look at the live stream, but all I can see is the circle with LP, which I imagine is Councillor Lennox Boyd's symbol. It doesn't appear to be showing everybody. You can hear it perfectly well.
That could be just specific to you. Yeah, I think that the live stream operator has advised me that it's back on. So I think unless we hear anything else, but that sounds like it might be an issue to yourself, Penny.
Do we have Mr. Hargraves now?
Hi, yes.
Good morning, Mr. Hargraves. Thank you very much for joining us.
No worries.
Thank you
for having me.
Okay, so welcome to the second part of this street trading subcommittee meeting. I'm going to ask our councillors, first of all, to introduce themselves. I'll start with myself. A very good morning to you. I've been elected to chair this meeting by fellow councillors. My name is Councillor Paul Wills, and I represent the St Cullum Major Electoral Division. I'll ask Councillor Biscoe to introduce himself next, please.
Good morning, I'm Bert Biscoe. I'm the Cornwall councillor for the Boscawen division in Truro.
And Councillor Lennox Boyd.
Good morning, Mr. Hargraves. I'm Sheila Lennox Boyd, Cornwall councillor for Saltash North.
And I'll ask the clerk of the meeting, which is our Democratic Services Officer, Angela Saunders, please to introduce everybody else that's in the meeting, please.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Yeah, there's myself, Angela Saunders. I'm the clerk today. We have Kevin Hill from Legal and Quackwood Finden from Licensing.
Thank you. And I will point out, Mr. Hargreaves, you've chosen to represent yourself. You are where you could have had representation, but you are happy to represent yourself at this meeting.
Yes, I'm fully aware.
Thank you very much, sir. That's very kind of you. I will now ask the licensing officer, which is Kath, to outline this application for us. Kath Woodfinden, please.
Good morning. An application is being received from Mr. Brandon Hargraves for grant of street trading consent to sell hot and cold drinks, cakes, etc. from 9 AM until 9 PM, Monday to Sunday, winter trading hours from the 1st of November to the 31st of March at South Fistral Lay-by Esplanade Road, Newquay. Objections have been received from 2 other persons and a representation from Newquay Town Council. A copy of the application and supporting documents is attached at Appendix 1. For a location map and photograph of Esplanade Road, see Appendix 2. The applicant has confirmed that they are in agreement and will adhere to the additional conditions requested by Newquay Town Council, should they be granted a consent. Details of the agreed additional conditions can be found on page 3 of the report pack. The application is being referred to the committee for determination following receipt of 2 objections from 2 other persons, who I believe will speak today. The objections can be found at Appendix 3 and Appendix 4. The refusal of a street trading consent on the grounds that there are already enough traders in the street trading from other shops, or that there are other traders selling similar products, is not compatible with the EU Service Directive and cannot be used as grounds for refusal. Members should consider the following options: approval of the application, deferral of the application, refusal of the application, approval of the application with amendments. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, please, to the licensing officer, Councillor Biscoe?
No.
Oh, thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Councillor Lennox Boyd.
No, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I have no questions either. So I will now ask the applicant, please, to outline your submission. So, Mr. Hargreaves, is it Hargreaves or Hargraves? I do beg your pardon. I hope I get it right. Graves.
That's okay. It's Hargraves.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Hargraves. Mr. Hargraves, the floor is yours, sir.
Okay. So my name is Brandon Hargraves, and I am the owner of the Koala Carlos brand that is submitted to basically have a pop-up coffee shop, coffee van on Esplanade Road. Basically, there were a few points raised by Mr. Mitchell that I just wanted to reassure and go over. Obviously, I know the green area there was recently what was done, and I do want to avoid any damage to that as possible, which is why I applied to trade a lot further down on the concrete area. So just a couple of points. I will be providing my own waste bins and taking my own rubbish. I want to avoid any damage to the green area, so I have applied to trade further down on the concrete area on Esplanade Road. The reason I've selected 9 till 9 is basically just to cover, cover the day. I know in the winter period it gets dark at 4 o'clock, and I wouldn't obviously be trading till 9 o'clock during this winter period. But as the spring comes and it starts to get lighter, and if the surf's good, I'd like to trade, till it was dark. As it progresses and it gets lighter throughout the spring, I might trade a little bit later. But I just put 9 till 9 to cover that. I've got a point raised was that I'll be contaminating the food and the coffee with the yoga wear. So the yoga wear is basically, it's just an online platform. I won't be selling it from the van. The van is just a collection point. I have a sustainable yoga brand because I make yoga music, which was another point raised. So I'm a musician full time, have been. For the last 10 years, I've worked for Sony BMG as a songwriter and composer. This is the first year that I haven't been able to do that. When the pandemic started, I was fired along with other people. We were let go. We weren't fired, we were let go. And with the music industry being so cutthroat, we didn't get furloughed and we didn't get anything. And I was signed from the age of 16 and I'm 26 now. And it's kind of all I've known and all I've done my entire life. So when we got dropped, we didn't get furloughed, we didn't get any opportunity. So I started this brand myself to try and do something about that, because I was very concerned for my future, and I don't know if music will ever come back. So I know my brand says music, coffee, music, and yoga wear. The yoga wear is strictly online and will just be a collection point. The music, I'm not going to be playing any live shows from the band. That wasn't what I meant by music in the name. It's just, it had to be in the name because it's coffee, music, and yoga wear. So the music and the yoga wear is kind of pretty irrelevant to the coffee van itself. So there's no worries that I know you put, Mitchell, I know you put that I would need an application to play gigs or anything like that, but I 100% will not be playing any shows or promoting gigs or anything like that from this van. This is strictly just the coffee van. Another point you raised was the solar panels. You kind of mentioned you were interested to see how long the solar would last through the winter period. With the solar panels, this was a lot of research, and it's something I've kind of been studying over the last 8 months and been testing and trial and erroring with. I've got 1,000 watts on the roof, and I've got 4 lithium Tesla battery packs, which were very expensive, but it was the only way it was going to work. I'm very obviously cautious of the environment, and I wouldn't want to run any generators or anything petrol related to power this. I'm all about sustainable living, and I've even got solar on my own property. The reason I picked Esplanade Road was because I've lived there for 3 years. I don't live there now, I live on Porth Beach. I lived on Esplanade Road for 3 years, and I've lived in Newquay for 7. And, I'm a member of the Fishville Beach Hotel and Spa. I went in there after a surf the other week, and I wasn't able to get a glass of water to take away, let alone a coffee. So I don't feel like I'd be taking away anything from the hotels. They don't offer the takeaway service. And like I said, I've been a member of Fishville Beach Spa now for 3 years, and it's hard enough for me to get a takeaway cup of water. Another point I saw here was from Mike. It was saying about Sea Spray. I'm very good friends with Steve and Kelly, who own Sea Spray, and I spoke to them this week. They aren't operating through the winter, and they're not sure when they're going to open full time, but they're only operating from Friday to Sunday. And another point that you could add with that is with Sea Spray, it's epic. I mean, I'm there all the time. I used to be the place I'd take my laptop and do my work, have a coffee after a surf. But I don't know if you've ever been down there on a busy day when the surf's good. It's another thing you can't get. Like, you wouldn't be able to get a wheelchair down there. You can't get buggies down there. If you just want a quick takeaway coffee after a surf, it would be ideal if you could grab one from a van. You know, I don't see any problem with that. You know, another thing I'm going to do is I'll have reusable cups. So, you know, if anyone brings their cup back, their coffee will be cheaper and it's less waste. And I'm also a voice for, I don't know if you've ever heard of the organisation 6 Minutes to Save the World. It's an Australian ocean organisation, and basically we organise like beach cleans and stuff like that, and that is something that I would like to kind of keep doing and do after, especially after I've traded, go down to the beach, keep cleaning them as we do, and then come back. But the thing is, being a young person, it's really hard. You know, this application for me, this is the first time I've applied to do street trading or anything like this, so this is all very new to me. But it's very difficult, like, to see my friends and people I've worked with, like, a lot of us have become unemployed. And it's obviously a very difficult time because of the pandemic, and I'm not justifying for that for just myself. You know, when I lost my job, that was my dream job my entire life, and I was very fortunate to have it, I didn't really know what I was going to do, and kind of a lot of things kind of fell apart very quickly. So I started making some yoga and meditation kind of music for myself to relax and try and, you know, lose my anxiety. And from this, you know, from March to now, those songs that I released independently myself have helped almost 2.7 million people, which is why I think, like, having a coffee shop can really bring people together, especially at a time like now. We don't know when another lockdown is around the corner. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know the second lockdown would come in, and the only thing that's available is takeaway services. So, you know, I invested a lot of time into building this van so that I could use it, and which is why I applied for this. And I completely, like, respect, you know, the grass area and stuff like that. I mean, Mr. Mitchell, a couple of years ago, I mean, I'm on your emails for the Pentai committee, and I remember, like, I've helped you guys plant some bulbs, and I came to one of your meetings at the Esplanade Hotel when I lived next to Surfside. I lived there for 3 years, and I just wanted to help. You know, so I completely get it. I get that you don't want people on the grass in the winter. When it's wet, it can ruin the grass area, and I completely understand that, which is why I want to avoid that area and be further down on the concrete and just, you know, be able to serve some takeaway coffee for surfers who surf. Like, I mean, I surf South Fistral whenever it's good. It's my spot. I've surfed there for a very long time, and every time this year that I've got out, I haven't been able to just get a hot drink because that service hasn't been available, which was the only reason I thought of putting a coffee van on Esplanade Road. I mean, that's what I have to say. I've never done something like this before, so I don't really know what else to say. I mean, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, that's great, Mr. Hargreaves. Thank you very much. We will now ask questions or ask committee members if they have any questions they wish to put to you, and we'll start with Councillor Biscoe. Any questions, please, Mr. Hargreaves?
Firstly, I must express condolences to Mr. Hargreaves for the situation that has occurred in the creative industries as a result of COVID. I don't think he's at all alone in being suddenly confronted with having to make a serious change in his lifestyle, and I very much applaud his enterprise and his inventiveness in doing it. I don't really have any questions. I was interested to know how, if he's got a busy day on the van, he would manage to be showing other traders his insights into solar living, but I think that's a bit of a peripheral thing. I assume that what you're talking about here in terms of clothing is a click and collect kind of facility. and presumably if you're simply delivering clothes to be you're offering, they're coming to collect, then the clothes will be packaged, and I would be quite helpful to know what that packaging would be. And apart from that, I really don't think that I have any further questions.
Okay. So yes, thank you for your condolences. The packaging for the yoga wear is, yeah, you're right, it is a click and collect. And what it comes in is it's all cardboard. So it comes in a cardboard box with a postcard to say like thank you for purchasing blah blah blah. Yes, so the yoga wear is sustainable and it's actually made from recycled plastic.
Okay. Sorry to cut across you. My point is that the point has been made by, I think, Mr. Mitchell, as I recall, maybe it was Mr. Patterson, I can't remember, that there could be an interaction, a cross contamination between food and drink preparation and the clothing. So really, it's to know that the clothing is protected from the food and the food is protected from the clothing. So do you consider that your cardboard packaging is adequate to that task?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, and it'll all be pre-packaged at home anyway.
Right.
Before, you wouldn't be able to just click and collect and turn up on the day. It would have to be the day before. So it would all be pre-packaged, and then it would be in a separate part of the van, which is out the back anyway. So it's not going to come into any contamination with the food.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Lennox-Boyd, any questions, please, Mr. Hargreaves?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Can I echo Councillor Bristol's sentiments regarding COVID and your situation? And mine is just to see that you've proposed a trade from the 1st to the 31st of March. Do you feel that it would continue after, or are you just waiting to see the outcome?
Hi, sorry, the connection's gone really bad.
Yeah, what Councillor Boyd is asking is that you've put in your trading from November 1st to 31st of March. Do you intend to extend that if you are successful and you're making a go of it?
Hi, sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, carry on. Yeah, did you hear the points that I put over?
No, it's not very clear. It's really robotic, like jumping.
Okay, I'll try again. What Councillor Lennox-Boyd is asking is that you put in an application from the 1st of November to the 31st of March to trade.
Yeah.
Do you intend then, if you are successful, to extend that into the summer season, or are you just going to go for winter trading?
I mean, if I was accepted and was allowed to trade for the 6-month period, I would like to do it from December till the 6-month period was up. But I'm open to what I would be allowed to do. I would like to, yes, if I was allowed to trade, if I was accepted for December, trade until June. I would just, when I put my application in September, I was looking November till March as the winter period. But I would like to obviously try and maximise my period.
What you have to remember, though, Mr. Hargreaves, is that the application in front of us is the one that we will be looking at. So we are looking at the application that you have put in, which is to trade from the 1st of November to the 31st of March. If you wish to extend that, you will have to reapply.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. I would be more than happy to just trade till March and then reapply if I needed to.
Okay, I've got a couple of questions for you. Now, the mention of music, you say you don't intend to have any live music there. Do you intend to have any recorded music playing whilst you are trading?
I mean, I'll probably have a small Bluetooth speaker playing some form of music, but not loud or anything that's going to disrupt anyone in the area. I'll literally just be a small background music in the van.
Okay, and also one of the stipulations that has been asked for by Newquay Town Council, and they've made it very clear that there should be no overnight parking, including putting another vehicle in your space to reserve that space. You're happy with that condition?
Oh yeah, absolutely fine. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
And the power that you're going to be using will be solar power, and you have no intention of using a generator. Is that correct?
Yeah, no intentions of a generator, just my lithium batteries.
Right. Okay. So So if the committee put the stipulation or a condition on that there would be no generator, then you would be happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, those are the only questions I have for you. So that's questions from the committee to the applicant. We will now move on. Normally at this point we would have representation from any of the council's consultees. We don't have representation from them. We do have representation, however, from members of the public. And this time we will start with Mr. Patterson. Mr. Patterson, the floor is yours.
Hello, Chairman. It's Angela from Denver.
Yes, Angela.
I was getting a bit of background noise from Mr. Patterson, and I had to mute him. So, Mr. Patterson, if you can hear me, you need to press *6 on your telephone, and that will unmute you.
Are you there, Mr. Patterson?
He's still mute at the moment,
Yeah, I
Chairman.
can see. Yeah, Mr. Patterson, *6 on your telephone to unmute, please, if you could do that. And you can speak once you've unmuted. Mr. Patterson, are you there?
Yeah, Mr. Patterson is now unmuted.
Mr. Patterson, again,
Hello?
good morning. Yep, good morning, Mr. Patterson. The floor is yours now, sir.
Yes, thank you. I've been a resident of here in Esplanade Road for over 10 years, and I'm a member also of the Thistle Beach Clean group. Some of the issues I have raised have already been addressed by Newquay Town Council regarding reservation of a parking space and dealing with rubbish to some extent, but not completely. There are other points. The part of Esplanade Road which is being desired for as a trading area is in a very congested part. It's a dead-end part of Esplanade Road. It's already congested with vehicles which belong to residents and houses, apartments, guests in the hotel, Thistle Beach Hotel, rental apartments, and of course there are coaches which go backwards and forwards to the Thistle Beach Hotel, and it's a very, very busy area. Is that there would be an impact on the use of the pavements in that vicinity from obviously clients going to a street trader and consequent damage to the green area which is adjacent. And I think those points about the green have already been covered by Mr. Mitchell. The other major point is that regarding rubbish, I think, all right, yes, maybe the street trader will take away whatever rubbish is in the immediate vicinity, but it's true that people will walk away with takeaway cups and will dispose of them, sometimes just dropping them on the ground itself. So that really isn't an issue which has been properly addressed, I don't think. But I think the other issues I've already stated.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mitchell.
Yes.
Floor is yours now, sir.
Right. Just a minute. I didn't expect Mr. Patterson to finish quite so quickly. Right. Yeah. The point about the damage to the grass, even if he's parking on the hard pavement or beside the hard pavement, what steps is he taking to prevent damage by pedestrians going round where he is parked? Is he going to move up and down from where he's marked on the map, or is it going to be that position and risk of the damage that happens in the summer where the Pink Flamingo parks? They've taken precautions to make sure that doesn't happen, but that's one question. There are several places that sell coffees, but that's apparently excluded by EU directives as an objection, so I won't go there any further. Overnight, I hope the conditions that the town council wants to put in of not parking a vehicle there and coming overnight and then swapping it in the morning, which has been the case with previous sellers. Yes. Oh, putting stuff on the green is always a concern, even though he's not parking on the green, he's parking right next to it. And as It is a village green, just for the benefit of the councillors. It's a registered green. It was registered in 2010 with several people and myself doing it to prevent commerce actually taking place on the green, which was probable if it had been left in the open. So we're all very interested in making sure that we keep that down to a very low level. It's up to the applicant whether he considers it commercial or not to work with possibly 2, maybe 3 other people selling all at the same time. I'm still concerned about this clothing and selling, because I think that could grow exponentially if he's successful. If he's not successful, it won't matter. But if it is successful, then he's going to be stacking stuff in that, and I don't see that is well, not economical, but is able to be done. They're only small vans, and the point about helping with the green, I have appreciated that it's the same person, but it doesn't change my objections. And the other point, could I have some clarity on this playing music, because I don't think that this should be allowed. It is a semi-residential area, and it's a hotel area. It's not a place where we have bands and other things charging up and down. So could that be clarified that it shouldn't happen? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so Mr. Hargraves, do you want to answer any of the points that have been raised by Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Patterson?
Yeah, Chairman, it's Angela from Democratic Services.
Well, no, sorry, I just had to unmute myself.
Back. Oh yeah, he's back. That's all right. Sorry, it's
Mr. Hargraves, do you want to answer any of the questions or points that have been raised by Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Patterson?
It's okay. I mean, you know, I think I have kind of said what I have to say.
Sure.
I do appreciate obviously the grass area. You know, and if I park further down, you know, I can only do so much to try and make people avoid walking around on different grass areas, or, you know, I mean, a point that Mike mentioned was the people potentially dropping cups and leaving cups on the floor. I mean, I can't stop someone from doing that, but I'd like to think the people of the community here wouldn't litter like that. I mean, we're quite a good place for that. You know, I'll have a bin out that says put your rubbish. Obviously, people will just know to put their rubbish in the bin. And again, that's the best I can do. I mean, people could buy a takeaway coffee from Sea Spray and still just litter that on the beach. That's the same anywhere. I think that's not just me, you know. And I would, you know, I would pick it up if I could, and if I saw someone do it, I would just pick it up, the same as you would and other people would. You know, we would do what we can, but you know, I feel like I'm not trying to do something ridiculously crazy here. I'm just trying to start up a small business, sure, and do it sustainably, and you know, keep my head above water. Really,
I think the point that Mr. Mitchell was raising about the clothing was that if it is, I think the word he used was exponentially successful, then you know, that would mean that there would be a lot of people coming down to click and collect, or to collect.
Absolutely, yeah, but, absolutely.
The point I think is that there would only be a certain number per day, because obviously if they've ordered something and they're given a time slot to come and collect it, then they would come and collect it. You wouldn't have people turning up to purchase from the van.
Not at all. No, they wouldn't be able to. It would be. I would happily set a limit on how many people that could come. I mean, This is a whole new thing anyway, so that it's not going to be like thousands of people buying. I'd be more than happy to say, right, only 10 people can collect a day, and then that's only 10 packages that get collected or less. I'm happy to negotiate that if it's, you know, I don't want to cause any havoc.
As regards the music, what you're saying is a small speaker, which is a Bluetooth speaker, so you can play some music from your phone. You don't intend to have speakers either side of the van blaring out music.
Oh no, just a small Bluetooth speaker that connects to my phone in the van that's just got background noise. That's all it will be. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from members of the committee, please? Then, please, to the to the representation from Mr. Patterson and Mr. Mitchell. Councillor Biscoe.
Yes, Chairman. Firstly, of course, if you did actually achieve exponential success, you could always buy Debenhams. Sale, I gather. The thing for me is about littering, and I wonder whether you would agree that it would be helpful to maybe include in the signage around your van, some exhortation to your customers to behave in a responsible way with their litter, which is at least you attempting to get a message across to them. They wanting to make that a condition, Chairman, because I think it's going far, but I'm sure that given what you're saying about your relationship with the environment, your contribution to the area, and so on and so forth, that wouldn't be an unreasonable thing to be sort of doing.
No, I'd be more than happy to have a board out to say recycle your litter. I'm more than happy to do that.
Any letters to Sir Philip Green should be addressed to Monaco.
Yeah. I know you could have brought British Home Stores for £1 years ago. But Councillor Lennox-Boyd, any questions, please, to Mr. Mitchell or Mr. Patterson?
Mine's not, Chair, but mine was to Mr. Hargreaves, which it does bring in the factor of the clothes, size of the van, and where the actual little cafe is. It looks like there's plenty of room to store, there's these cardboard boxes for the yogurt. And can I ask Mr. Hargreaves, have you got any intentions on having people to support you? I don't know if you've got a girlfriend that might help you, so you could do that. Keep an eye.
Yeah.
Customers.
So my partner Daisy, she's a yoga teacher, okay. And she's barista trained also. So she will be helping me if I need it. She's there if I need her to help me.
Okay, thank you. So we don't have any other questions then for Mr. Patterson or Mr. Mitchell. So Mr. Hargreaves, it's a chance for you now to sum up if you so wish, or if you feel you've said all you need to say, then that's fine. It's entirely up to you.
I mean, listen, all I'm trying to do is the best for people and the best for myself, and I want to help as much as possible. Obviously, I know starting a business is a difficult thing, but I'm at the final stages of doing this now. My music's already helped so many people, and I feel like I have a good group of friends and family here that will support this. And as I'm only applying to go up to March, I don't see a huge issue in seeing if this works. But I respect everyone's opinions and queries, but I just want to reassure that I will do the best I can to kind of keep everyone happy. I know you can't keep everyone happy all the time, but I respect people, and I don't like causing upset or any issues. I literally did this because I thought it was a good area, and I thought it was just an area that needed it. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say. But thank you for letting me have that moment to say something.
Thank you. Any final questions to Mr. Hargreaves, Councillor Biscoe?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Lennox-Boyd.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, I'll ask the Democratic Service Officer and Clerk of the meeting, Angela, now to read out the resolution for the exclusion of the press and public, please, Angela.
Yeah, can I have a mover and a seconder?
Yeah.
I'll second.
I propose Councillor Biscoe seconds. You in favour, Councillor Boyd?
I am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So it's resolved that in accordance with the Local Government Act 1972 as amended, the press and public be excluded from the meeting during consideration of the following item of business on the grounds that they would be likely to involve the disclosure of extensive information of the following description: information in respect of which a claim to legal professional privilege could be maintained in legal proceedings, and that the proceedings apart from the resolution shall remain confidential. So, so now, Chairman, we just need to ask the applicants, the other person, the local member and the licensing officer to leave the meeting.
Thank you. So if you could all leave the meeting, and we will call you back in once we have made our decision. Thank you.
Okay.
So you need to make sure you hang up now and leave the meeting, and then our officers will call you back in once that decision has been made. wish. And of course they are recorded and banked as well, so the members of the public can look at them retrospectively. Angela.
The stream operator is on it at the moment.
He's on the case, or
he's on the case. He's writing back to me. It's just coming through a minute. Oh, it's working now, Chairman.
It's working now.
Yeah.
Okay, Kevin, if you'd like to start again, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. Your draft resolution is to grant the application for the street trading consent on South Fistral lay-by, subject to all the proposed conditions and to the following conditions imposed by members. The first one is to abide by any legislation guidance in place concerning the pandemic when the licence takes effect, that there be no generators, and that any music to be limited to one small speaker internally. And the fourth one is that no advertising to be placed on the green. I think members would also like to stress that Mr. Hargreaves, you can only trade for the period in the application. If you want to trade after the 31st of March, you would have to make a further application.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Hargreaves, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so we have granted you this license as our.
Excuse me, Chair. You need to vote on it.
Yeah. What subject to the vote? But
Yeah.
I want you to make clear those are the points that we have put. Now going to propose that is the recommendation of the committee, and I look for a seconder, please, from.
Yes, Chairman, I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favour, Councillor Lennox Boyd, you agree?
Yes, I do. I'm for.
Thank you. That's a unanimous decision. So what we're saying to you is, yes, you can, but you must abide by government guidelines. There must be no overnight parking, no reserving of a space for you, no generator, no advertising on the green, and one small speaker which is internal to the van, not external to the van.
Understood. Perfect. Thank you.
And we would advise you, as just as advice, that you have some kind of signage on your van that asks your customers please to bring litter back to you or dispose of their litter properly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's not a condition. That's what we're asking you to do.
I can.
I think I got a yes there from you there, Mr. Hargreaves. I think before you left. Are you there? That's great. Okay.
Chairman. Yeah.
So thank you very much for your time this morning, ladies and gentlemen. I now call the meeting to a close. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Councillor Lennox Boyd. Thank you very much, Councillor Biscoe. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Angela, and thank you, Kath, our officers, and thank you very much to all our participants this morning.
For your deft job of chair.
Thank you very much.
Well, Chair.
Take care and God bless you all.
Bye.
God bless.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.